This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, let's talk about what's next on Terry's watch. He's going to do a short-term deal with WCW in 94 before he starts doing death matches that he becomes famous or infamous for with Cactus Jack. What do you remember hearing about these IWA Japanese death matches that really became legendary and probably put Mick Foley on the map in a whole new way?
I think probably the biggest introduction for me for those matches. And again, you got to remember, folks, it wasn't like it is today where you could just stream it.
Right.
They weren't available everywhere. Tape traders got to see it before anybody else, quite frankly.
Yep.
I think probably through the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's where I got more information regarding these matches because, as we all know, Meltzer's a major fan of anything Japanese.
Yep.
Has been for 30 years. And so by reading the Observer back in the day, I would say that's where I learned the most about it. And then you'd start seeing, you get a clip or something. But it's like this, we had that exploding barbed wire match with Omega and Moxley, right?
Yep.
Hell, I've never seen a whole
match.
No, I didn't. I had to go look it up. That was available now in this world.
Yeah.
So I researched it and I watched it. I watched several of them. But once you've seen one, you kind of seen them all because they're going to redo the same thing. Shit's going to blow up and talents are going to get battered and bruised and bloody. And so that's where you were. But I was not aware. I'd heard guys say, man, you should see that somebody might've been on the card. Somebody might've got to see the tape before I did or something. Man, you should see what Funk's doing now. My God. Because he did things courageously, much like Mick, that nobody else wanted that booking. If they did, they're nuts. So anyway, I didn't see a lot of it, Conrad, but I did learn. I read about it in a textbook education through the Observer.
Well, you also read that Terry Funk became a locker room leader in ECW, spending a lot of time there, especially in 95, 96. And of course, he's going to wind up at Barely Legal, the first ECW pay-per-view, winning their world title. And it's 22 years after he's world champion the first time, and he's main eventing a pay-per-view in the process. It's really remarkable, especially the stuff he was doing, the moonsault off the top, and they're calling him middle-aged and crazy. Around that same time, he's filming a documentary called Beyond the Mat, and they're going to document his WrestleFest out in Amarillo. And he's somehow getting the green light from all the good seed he sowed over the years. He gets ECW talent there, FMW talent there, and even the WWF. You guys allow some folks to come in and make appearances.
Absolutely.
Brett,
that was an easy conversation with Vince too, by the way, to give McMahon credit, which I probably don't do enough here because people think I'm still mad at him for some fucking reason. Only had 26 years there, made a lot of money. So why would I be mad?
Yeah.
Come on. Well, he pulled something out of your ass. Okay. He also had me beat up several times. It's pro wrestling. Sometimes it's the theater of the absurd.
Yeah. And
that's what it is. But we had no issues with that. And as a matter of fact, if my memory serves me correctly, some guys were a little bit miffed, Conrad, because they weren't booked.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they wanted to go out of respect to Terry.
Wow.
Yeah. They wanted to be a part of it. They wanted to travel to Amarillo and be a part of the celebration because that's what everybody looked at, the celebration.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking somewhere along the way, well, if he's ever going to retire, it ain't going to be in Japan. It's going to be in Amarillo.
Yeah.
And little did we know that wasn't a real retirement either.
Well, so that's what I wanted to ask about. On the heels of this, and by the way, Brett wrestled Terry in the main event. Brett gets the victory. He's the world champion. Of course, all old school wrestlers go out on their back, and Terry's the epitome of that.